Okay folks, here's the engine we're going to run. This is the air compressor engine. I've got the head off for the air compressor. And we're going to leave it off and we'll get it oiled up in there good. I don't think it's going to pump any air anyway because I'd say the valve is probably stuck. Okay, I didn't bring the tip with me. I was going to bring the end of it to show it to you. I actually had to rebuild or just put this back together and put a piece of rod in it because this was actually rusted completely away. Kind of amazing how much it rusted, but it did. And I loosened everything up to get it freed up, and I'm going to re-oil it here, and I'm going to snug these bearings back down because I've got them all loose. As you can see, there's ice in the bottom. It's cold out, even in North Carolina. So anyway, that's the plan. We're going to try to run it. I may throw a belt on it on the governor because I do have it all freed up and hopefully maybe working. See how well it works. And I'm going to put some oil in it. I put a lot of oil in it already, but we're going to put some more oil in it before we run it. This works fine. This is a mechanical lubricator and it just ratchets. As you can see the handle going around. So what I'm missing is a 9/16 glass, which is an odd size, so I've got to get some glass coming. It was pumping good, the glass was just broken, so I've got to run the line from there. It was running over this way into some other stuff. I think it was oil in the, maybe it was oil in the compressor too, but either way we got to plumb it into here, and this is a one-way check valve, and it's probably no good, but I'm just going to use it for stopper right now. But that way it'll oil the engine. But what we'll do is if we run a little bit and we want to, we'll take this out, put some oil in it, and then fire it back up. But either way, it's going to have plenty of oil. I oiled the heck out of it. So I had to replace some valves at the bottom that were broken off, as you can see. And all these, this was hit at one time, so everything was basically broke off, rusted shut, and this was broke off. So I haven't taken it out yet for the exhaust, but we'll run it without it. We'll probably get a lot of steam today because it's cold, but that's okay. We'll steam in the air anyway. And got to get one bolt to go back in the cover. I had that cover off, of course, and checked everything out, and it's rolling good, so I think it's going to be okay. And let me see, we're going to fire the big boiler today and run it to test this. And we could have done this smaller one, but I don't have any water in it. I've got water back in the big one, so we'll just run it and see how it goes. And so far so good. So this for a year. Okay, the patent here is 1899. The patent on the other side of the governor is 1901. Looking at fixtures and looking at the internet, I can't find one exactly like it. Most of them have got the air compressor cylinder here and the steam cylinder out here, but this is somewhere around, we're going to say 1905 maybe to 1910. So, you know, over 100 years old, well over 100 years old. And this is actually Chicago Pneumatic Tools, or Chicago Pneumatic Tool Company, and Chicago, New York, actually made in Franklin, PA. Anyway, we've got Scott firing the boiler. Say hey, Scott.
What's up?
And we're going to see what happens there. All right folks, should be about ready, and I've got a belt on the governor and put a bolt in there, at least a temporary one. A lot of these companies, when they built their own, you know, they made their own bolts. They didn't, you know, buy bolts. They just use whatever they wanted to. Sometimes you're running like a 1/2 inch 12 pitch instead of a 1/2 inch 13, you know, on the core, stuff like that. But anyway, this is pretty common. It's just weird size, you know, heads on it. So while we're waiting on this thing, or waiting on the boiler to get up, I'm going to go over to the other engine that I bought in Georgia a long time ago. Continental Gem Company engine. We have not ever pulled the head off this thing. And now this was in a fire, I'm assuming, because all the babbitt's burned up. But it's, you know, well worth throwing babbitt's if the cylinder is good. So we're going to find out real quick whether this cylinder is going to be any good or not. I hope I got the right seal. So we've got a Scott's Makita 3/4 impact. We're going to see if it'll take them off here. Certainly will. Oh yeah, no problem. No problem. All right, whole stud come out on that one, but come right out. All right, folks, here it is. Fixing to see what kind of mess we got. It's gonna be heavy, Scott. Oh, Lord have mercy. They're never as bad as you think they are. I don't know what it is about them.
Yeah, it's clean.
Yeah. That's as clean as you'll find. Oh. Well, this thing, I don't want to work too well. All right. Camera wasn't picking up real good, but cylinder looks really good, so I don't think there's any issues there. We may pull this cover off, I don't know. Let's put the head back on. Oh man, don't tear my gasket now. Vance don't have them in stock.
They can get it from the warehouse.
Where? Can you call in there and see what if they got something for a Continental Gen Company engine?
Yeah.
See if it's in
And
the
then
container.
make, model, and year.
Yeah. Here goes nothing. Holy moly. Clean, dry, and dusty. Exactly what you want to say. I'm still in disbelief that the cylinder is so good. Everything's so dry. And there's barely surface rust on the surface for the D-cup valve. And then you look at this and it's just rusted away. But like I said, it wasn't a fire. So this will be another runner. We'll have to do something with this here soon. All right. Okay, folks, just wanted to show everybody the difference between having something sitting outside uncovered and having it covered. This thing was uncovered from here up. Everything that was covered rusted so bad that it's just crazy. This was actually that rod, and that's the jam nut, and it just completely rusted away. And when you got out to here where the cover stopped, it was fine. So that's the difference. You know, if you cover something up, you know, you might be okay for, you know, if you're going to cover it for 6 months or something like that, but I mean for years, and it will eventually, you know, just keep sweating in there and rot it away. So I don't recommend it anyway. The weather, you know, we're just washing it every time it rains, so which this will eventually be under a shed, and it'll be a while, but we're going to get it under there. So all right, we're ready to we're going to fire up here in a minute. All right, see if this thing runs. Okay folks, running good. Well, fair. I guess it's good as we could ask for. Sitting as long as it did. It's gonna need some packings and probably just some packings adjusted and stuff too. But like I said, it's been sitting for a long time. The rods look good on it. They're not pitted or anything to where I think we're gonna have to replace anything. Seems to be doing pretty good. I think it would pump air too because I can hear it. Of course, I got the cylinder head off, but it's still pumping on the bottom side. It's turning really easy, no problem. Starting good, and seems to be working out. All right, folks, I guess we're gonna call that a video. She definitely needs seals everywhere. Not a very balanced unit, so it would need bolted down for sure, which it was bolted down before. I guess you got, you know, it makes you wonder because there's really no counterbalance, and it makes you think that maybe it'd do better if it didn't have both pistons rolling back and forth. So it's got to be pretty rough on it not having a counterbalance on it. But anyway, it's a decent runner. Needs some timing work. I think that's a lot of our issue. You can hear it. You know, I wish I had some exhaust on it, some pipes, so I could get a little better idea. But I think we'll have to go through the timing on it. I didn't go through the timing. I just made the shaft and made the length that it was because everything was rusted away and stuck in the position that it was when it rusted away. So there was no reason to readjust. I just, you know, went in between it and got all that taken care of. And you know, still needs a lot of work, but I honestly just thought this was going to be static display and I'd just preserve it. But looks like it's, you know, it's a runner. So it's in the long list of maybe I'll get to it and maybe I won't. You know, that's just the way it is. We will get the head back on it though. And it was pumping air. It was pumping out here. I'm not sure why. Now you can see I put oil in this too, so I shot plenty of oil in it. I didn't want anything to go. Plus I put it on in the cylinder there. So I did notice I did not loosen that nut up, and as I was running this I heard a noise, and I actually reached in there with it running and my glove on and tightened the nut up. So it definitely is loose on the piston for some reason. So that would have to be fixed also. Do have governor issues. It needs some real good cleaning and some work done to the governor to be right. But I mean, we've got it running where we had, you know, the RPMs up and everything on it. I think I'll fire it one more time here before I call it quits. And we'll see how good it starts. It's down in the gravel now. It come off my blocks because it's so unbalanced. And it's not unbalanced because there's something wrong with it. It's unbalanced because that's how it was made. Appreciate everybody watching. Till next time. Bye.